Hey, everybody. I am back. Okay, so we've got another segment here. This is from the series where she's doing some sort of pseudo self help therapy talk session with her latest flying monkey. Um, I think there's like four of these. I don't know if I'm going to do all of them. Some of them have a higher insanity quotient than others. I thought maybe this one would be good. I've kind of skimmed through it again. I haven't listened to this all the way through. So I don't know. It's going to be like opening up a Christmas gift, multiple packages of goodies. We don't know what's going to happen here. Okay, so let's turn up the volume. Okay, this is a continuation of the phone call, uh, part two, and I think we're gonna we're gonna do some role play here. Which I just, what is the point of all this? What is she trying to? It just seems like everything turns into this long, drawn out, eternal therapy session when it comes to men. Like it has to happen. It can't be something simple where we just, he doesn't want to get up at 3 a.m. for the yoga. That's it. That's it. But then it has to turn into this, like, where it just takes years and years of scientific research to figure out how to get along with this person. Um, so that's what's kind of funny to me is just how, why does it have to go to this level, really? I mean, you'd think they were like some married couple with layers and layers of issues and complications going on, and it's just relatively easy. But anything usually things are not easy with Daisy. That is what makes it interesting, is she takes the long way around, the long route, not the short one, the low road, not the high road. So we're gonna go through all those bumps with her. Okay, let us start in with this.
I can tell, Okay, ready? Hi, Big Ben. It's Daisy. Hi. Hello. So, gorgeous King Big Ben. I want to let you know that I had a chance to process some of my emotions. And after getting some empathy for myself and getting some empathy for you also, I was able to identify what I'm feeling and needing. And I was wondering if you would be willing to let me know what you're feeling and needing, and also receive some feeling and need guesses from me. I've talked with him still limited. I'd say like he listened and he. So just be him and respond. What would he say? So you're him. So you just say, yeah, I'll listen.
Okay, this is sort of weird in that why don't you just go talk to Ben? Why are you doing this with somebody else? Why do we have to do the role play? And what is the point of this? I mean, just, when the guy gets home from work tonight, uh, just have this conversation with him. Why are we doing this? I'm not sure what the point is of having like a guy that really doesn't even know and he's just guessing what the Big Ben would be thinking.
Yeah.
Needing.
Just say yes. I will listen. I listen to you.
What are we accomplishing here?
I'll make sure that our communication is clear and that what's within my capacity and form I can commit to, and what's not, I can declare that I'm unable to, so that we have a mutual consensus on what is feasible and not. And at the end of the day, it's always it's always understanding of and understanding, and I'd say just
yes. Oh yeah, there it is. Yes. Okay.
Like,
it is the guy that was that's driving her in the
understanding and what?
I figured it was same voice.
Understanding and just nothing but willingness to nurture the other person. And
this is I'm sorry. I know I'm repeating myself. What is the point of this? I think the point is just it's masturbatory. That's all that this is. It's going through it for the sake of it's attention. Drawing this other whoever this fellow is. We need to find out his name. I don't know. The next in line here who's going to waste his time with her. I'm sorry, but it's true. Like I said, just take the short route. You go speak directly with your boyfriend and you hash it out. You get an answer once and for all. Okay, I'm probably not going to be getting up at 3 a.m. to do yoga. Okay, and maybe she's like, maybe you could have a friend go to the Dodger game or whatever, the Anaheim, whoever plays at Anaheim now. And then just go on with your life. This is just going on and on and on. It's just doing it for the sake of doing it, for the sake of spinning your wheels, burning up this other fellow's time here, this guy, but he's willing to do it. He's willing to sit here, and hash through this. It serves no purpose except to it's masturbatory, just to keep talking, getting attention, going over it over and over again. But I'm not suspecting that this is all that useful. It's not gonna lead to anything like problem solving in the real world. It isn't. It's just
that's based on.
She wants to hear herself think.
Meet me halfway. Right at the borderline is where I'm gonna stay. Oh, I don't know how big. Goddess, Big Ben would never say that. I know that. I don't.
Okay, she's having a person try to figure out what her boyfriend would say, and then correcting him. Well, he would never say that. Well, why are you having this guy do this then? What? This is what's so funny is she wants the help of another person, I guess, to figure out her problems, and then she's like directing them around, correcting them. No, that's not what he would do. No, that's not what. What is the point of this? Remove this from the equation. You might get to your answer quicker, but she loves this. She relishes anything where somebody is spending a lot of time on the phone, indulging her. I think that would be a good word to use here. Burning up their time, wasting their day.
I don't know I don't know an hour, 20 minutes. So you know what I'm trying to say? I can't channel that. I need longer. I don't. You know what I mean? But that's the gist of what I'm trying to say. So it's Goddess, I'm gonna teach you conscious communication. And
oh boy, now the generous friend who is spending his time. This is what he's doing with his day here, part of his day. Hal has to get a lesson and a lecture from her on how to correctly, this is just it's playtime for her. She's not learning anything. I don't even think she wants his advice, really. She wants his emotional indulgence.
Shares so when you're giving the person empathy, your attention and intention is going to be
all these little microfacial expressions that she's giving. She just absolutely loves being the teacher. That's what this is all about. This allows her to, go into guru mode and, teach another semi-ignorant person about how you're supposed to go about, doing these fake therapy sessions with her. I don't know. Okay.
What is this person needing right now? Right. So if your attention and intention is on finding out what I'm needing and then giving that to me, then your focus is going to be what does Daisy need to hear right now? So with that in mind, just let that integrate. Put your
okay, I let it integrate. What a biased way of approaching therapy. I thought this guy, she appears to let people have the freedom to express or play act somebody else's role, which I thought that was what this was, is the guy is supposed to be her boyfriend. But then if she doesn't hear what she doesn't like, if it's not completely Daisy-centered, everything's got to come to a screeching halt, stop the wagons, and she's got to receive a lesson on how to make sure whatever it is he says supports her. It's impossible. Just constant, never ending. It's the cup with the hole in the bottom. It can never be filled.
Attention on what is Daisy needing and your intention on meeting that need. So you want to try again, and you pretend.
Wow, listen to this. You want to try again, like he's a dumb kid.
And just give me one.
Why would you be?
Give me That's the thing. Okay.
What is he doing on the phone with her?
So here's the thing with roleplay.
Listen, she's getting mad at him.
I know, but I can't.
Look, he's frustrated now.
Well enough to know how to talk like him. Okay, I know.
Okay, you know what? That's it, man. You hit on it. See, all these people are smart enough to know in their hearts how fucking stupid this is. But they still go on with it. He will call her again. He will drive her somewhere, until he is ground into the ground and his nose, scrapes flat, being ground with her dragging him around, demanding. He's going to burn out. He's already, you can tell, he's flustered, frustrated. He's trying to pretend to be somebody he isn't, and then he's getting a lecture and correction on it. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. No, she's not happy with him here. You get a step two, man. This is how she breaks people.
Got us. But the thing with role play is you're just helping the person get empathy. It doesn't matter how you do it.
Exactly. So
well, but that's not necessarily true at all.
So rather than taking the floor, just listen.
Jeez.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I want to do.
Look at that little curl at the sides of her mouth. She loves dominating people. Her eyes are half lit. She just absolutely loves. I think she loves screwing this poor guy into the ground. So wait a minute. The whole point is just to give her support. Well, why don't you cut the role? Well, what do you want him to say? Oh, Daisy, I love you. I'm going to get up and do, hot yoga at 3 a.m. I don't know what I was thinking. I shouldn't be tired. I shouldn't need my rest. This never ending with her. It's just so absolute. And she's just looking for people that are basically 100% her. I think she needs to clone herself, but then she'd probably end up fighting. She'll fight with herself.
Okay.
God.
So if I say to you,
here's the
hey,
lesson.
So-and-so, blah, 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 blah. Are you willing to listen? Then all you would say is yes or no. And your attention is not going to be on your performance and how well you perform. You're going to be focusing on, I want to help this person get out what they're trying to say. Rather than saying over and over again, anytime that something happens, oh, I do this is what's wrong with me. If you say it like that, then you're putting yourself in like a unpowerful position where you don't have a choice.
Power?
If you say something like, I see this is what I want. I see this is what I'm doing. I see this is what I'm working on. So what that would sound like is, oh, this is just who I am. And you don't do this, but it would be something like, I always step on people's feet. I can't help it. I just step on people's feet all the time. It sucks. I'm so clumsy. I can't believe I do it. Right? You hear this?
God.
We don't do that ever. Ever. We are certain. We use few words because we know we are sure. And this is coming from someone who can talk nonstop. I can talk nonstop. Yeah. What I need right now is to figure out what I'm going to say to Big Ben. So I just need you to listen.
Wait, I thought he was supposed to role play.
I'm also modeling for you how to give empathy so that if somebody that you love needs empathy, you can have a conversation with them where you allow emotions to move.
Emotion.
And they will feel lighter. They will feel better. You will help them heal. That's what walking each other home is. And I'm showing you how to do something that we were not shown how to do. This is the book we're going to write today. Big Ben, thank you for leaving this morning when I asked you to. I was able to take care of my emotions and process. And
she told him to, she kicked him out, basically. She wasn't feeling good. This is all, let's see if this is all about the yoga thing. She tells him to leave his own apartment, by the way.
After receiving some empathy, I was able to think about you and feel into what you might be feeling and needing. And that helped my heart soften a lot. And I was able to identify that my need is to have activities of shared interest together. And I want us to do things that are healthy and make us feel good. And when,
of course, they have to be these things that are healthy and make you feel good, have to be what she wants, probably including the yoga. I'm just guessing. I don't know. Maybe she can move away from that.
we make plans to do that stuff, if plans change, that's totally fine. However, there's certain things that are really important. Like when I wake up, I need to move my body. I need to work out. And I'm a morning person. So things like that, I really need to let you to just let me know from now on. Like if you're not planning on working out, if you need an extra hour, if you need till 5 or 6 in the morning instead of 4 a.m. to start working out, would you be willing to let me know?
I thought this was already figured out. She knows. She knows that he ain't getting up at 3 or 4 to work out. It sounds like he's got an all-day work schedule. Excuse me, all-day work schedule. And if you are leaving, having to get to work at 7, 8, 9, or whatever it is, you're not going to be up at 3 working out. We already know this. Why do we keep talking about this? Hours and hours of this.
And
Just drop it.
I will work on asking.
Asking what? He doesn't want to do it.
And where that gets a little tricky is I felt like I was asking him. Like I felt like I was like, hey, when are we going? And I was not getting the courtesy of a response. And the response was like, yes, I'm going to go. But it was just taking so long. And I just...
You know what, Daisy? You're the one that has to get a little more smart about reading the room. Okay, this has been going on for months. I'm sure the minute she moved in, when was that, 4 or 5 months ago at least, sometime in the spring of this year, she knows already. That's just not part of what's going to be happening. You got to find something else to share. And if she goes to sleep really, really early, like at 6 or 7, when he may have the time to work out, well, that may be something that's just not going to happen in this situation. Just the amount of time spent on this one subject. It's just part of her repetitive, over and over kind of trait that she has, where she just can't. This was an issue with John too, the whole yoga thing. It had to happen. Got to find some way to make this happen. It doesn't matter if the other person isn't interested.
Didn't feel like
or
my
can't
time
accommodate.
was being valued or like I was being considered. And I thought that maybe that was because, Big Ben, you were not able to consider me is because you didn't know how important this is to me.
You know what, though? He is. I'm sure he is considering it, and it's like it's not going to work. See, her unfortunate way of thinking is that if it's really important to her, it has to happen. You have to do it. It has to. There's no, finding a middle ground. It just has to be her way. And I mean, look, she does not have experience in real relationships. We know that. I don't believe her marriages were based on, any kind of deep connection with any of the people. And we can see, because she records everything. We've seen her behavior with Prince. We saw how she acted with John. And if she doesn't get her way with stuff, it's just World War III. And it's just, there's no, it's just not going to happen. So she's going to float around for the rest of her life trying to find somebody who can do, basically is a clone of her. Like I said, a male clone of her. She ain't going to find it. Not happening, my friend.
And I need you to know that this is super important to me and that I need to be out the door at 4 a.m. and that this is like my thing is I get up and I work out. I don't linger. I don't tinker. I get up and I go. And if you're not going to do that with me, then I'm just going to go.
Well, yeah, that's what you should.
And that's okay.
She says it like it's a threat. I'm just going to go. Well, go. That way you can sleep. Well, that's completely unreasonable. But are we surprised? Are we shocked? No, not at all. No.
Prefer that you're there because I love accompaniment.
Well,
this is the exact same conversation I've had with him before.
I'm sure you've had it many, many, many times.
I think.
Yeah, go for it.
Can I speak?
That was
Can I
a very
speak?
beautiful way of saying, like, you've like a previous conversation, you said you have really good boundaries. Like, I remember your call yesterday, and I think that's such a beautiful thing. And
okay, it stops here. That's the end of that segment. Okay, so I mean, she's trying. There are other pieces of this. I don't know whether I'm going to do a video on them or not because they go kind of slow. It's not. They're not quite as peppy.
Okay,
let me
ready?
Stop this. We don't need to watch this again. And it's just this around and around thing. If this is the worst thing that's going on between the two of them, is that she wants to get out the door at 4 and do her thing, and he just needs to sleep in because he works and he's he's paying for everything. Remember that too. This is she's not in his apartment now, but I mean she's lecturing him about getting up at 4 in his space, and it comes to a point where that's pretty disrespectful and ridiculous. There's this just thing is that she's not flexible at all. There's no flexibility. And although she can role play and walk through being empathetic, this is the one thing I find interesting about her is she does, because she's absolutely narcissistic. It can be very hard for people with that disorder to even relate to or understand another person or even care what they think. And I think it's still a struggle for her. She doesn't really care what he thinks. If she cared, we wouldn't even be having these silly phone calls, or she's got to go around and around, for hours about how do we do this? What do we do this? What does this mean that he's not going to get up and, I need accompaniment. Well, you find somebody else who gets up at 4. Certainly in today's age of internet and, hooking up with whatever, meetup groups or people that want to do things. You find someone or a little group of people that start working out at 4 a.m. There you have it. Now you've found accompaniment. But she's interesting in that she does understand that. What's very interesting is she said one time that I used to just not care at all what people thought. I didn't care. Didn't interest her. What the guys thought, her walking ATMs, as she called them. Didn't matter. It was just what she could get from them. Using people. And this is where the rubber hits the road with narcissists. This is where their life becomes very difficult, is they cannot grasp that sort of, and she talked about empathy for herself, empathy for other people. Like we've talked about it, drop it, not going to happen. You got to find some other alternative. That is very hard for her to make that bridge crossing to. And you can see that, although she talks about it. And there's a section of this little video here where she walks through, what is his point of view on it. But I don't know. Maybe one day she can kind of break through this and, find that she doesn't have to cling. It doesn't have to be the guy, her boyfriend, doing everything with her. It's not realistic to expect that out of people in a relationship, and that's what's going to, blow things apart, I think, eventually. So anyway, here we go. That's it. Maybe she can figure this out one day and stop expecting unrealistic things from people and being a little more liquid in how she handles her relationships. So that's it. So for now, thanks for watching and listening. And I'll look for something more interesting stuff to upload, and have a good rest of your day.